excellence? Do you really believe that is something that happens overnight? It can't be given to you. No one is gonna hand it to you. You have to sleep, you have to breathe, you have to eat it every single day of your life until you achieve that greatness.
When we talk about excellence, we are talking about an obsession to outwork and outperform everybody in the room.
What is your current standard on life, on excellence, on how you pursue things, how you operate? Basically, when you show up, do you show up in an excellent way? Do you show up with an average way? Or do you show up in a mediocre, half-prepared, half-thought-out way? Listen to me very carefully. Excellence is about standard, and excellence is a requirement for your dream to come true.
When others are sleeping, you need to be awake. Work on having an excellent, driven mindset. Sure, there are gonna be some times and you're gonna just fall to the left, and you may even fall to the right. You may even fall back. Learn from your mistakes, grow from your mistakes, and become unique. But never quit. Don't stop moving forward.
Most people are totally okay with decent. But I ain't talking about most people. I'm talking about you. You want to be a great one? You want to be great? Let me break it down to you. Listen to me. Are you only okay with excellence? Until excellence is the only option, we got something to work on. Until excellence is the only thing you'll settle for, we got work to do, my friend. Before you can be excellent, you must first see what excellence looks like.
I want you to make a conscious decision that from this day forward, excellence will be the description of everything you do. Like high performance and high achievement is just who you have become.
You may feel that because you're failing so much, you're so good and you're so excellent at failing, but you're not realizing that you're growing from your failures. You're becoming more powerful. You are educating yourself. You are realizing that your excellence is being nourished. It's gonna get stronger. You are planting the seed.
Average is not who you are. Okay is not who you are. Decent, that is not who you are. Excellent is who you are. Nothing else will do.
You gotta know your weaknesses. You gotta know your strengths. You gotta know your vulnerabilities. Be it in business, in relationships, in time management, in investments, it doesn't matter. Self-awareness is one of the most paramount distinctives that make up excellence. If I'm not aware, I'm bankrupt.
What is your standard right now? If your standard ain't excellent, what is it gonna take for you to get there? A little bit more. You gotta agree that if you're not operating in an excellent mindset, it's gonna require a little bit more. Sometimes it ain't even a whole lot more. Sometimes you're close, just a little bit more to turn a C into a B, just a little bit more to turn a B into an A. Sometimes all it takes is just a little bit more.
None of us are perfect. It is something that seems to be so far away. It almost seems like it cannot be touched. But this is why we continue to work towards it. To work towards perfection. To work towards being the best of ourselves. You may feel that maybe you're so good at failing, you don't even realize that the more you're failing, you're learning.
Excellence is taking full responsibility for your future. In the game of life, or whatever arena you are stepping into, in whatever industry that you are moving into, the realm for error is very, very small. I mean, one half a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. One half a second too slow, too fast, and you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break, every minute, every second. This is the difference between losers and champions.
You must drive for excellence. Sometimes you gotta bleed for excellence. Sometimes you gotta cry for excellence. And nobody can do that for you. Kobe saw Mike. He saw what excellent looked like. And he knew what it took. Then he committed to excellence and didn't let himself off the hook until he got it. You gotta go and see what excellence looks like. Whatever you're pursuing, go and see what it looks like. And go figure out what it takes to be excellent.
It's not enough to just say, how bad do you want it? Okay, go be excellent. That's not enough. If you're like me, you're pragmatic. You need the how to. I need you to understand that this is not about doing more than it is about becoming. If you could become excellent internally, if you can master your psychology, then everything you do is excellent. If you can master character, if you can master integrity, if you could master humility, if you could stay hungry and humble.
But it won't be easy. You got to earn it. Don't get aggravated. Don't get emotional. Put your mind in motion. Put your soul in motion. Put your heart in motion. And let your excellence flow through your veins.
My football coach used to tell me, how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you have selective excellence, then there is a malfunction in your character and integrity.
Can I ask you a question? What are you holding back for? Why are you holding back? Who are you holding back for? You afraid to show somebody up? You want to be too big? You don't want nobody hating on you? Don't you ever play small. Play big, my friend. Don't you ever play small for nobody. Play big and be the best you that you can be.
Excellence is what will define our true purpose in this world.
You gotta see it, my friend. You gotta see it up close. Whatever you're pursuing, whatever your dream is, I wanna encourage you, just go and see it. Go and find it. Go and look at it. Go and touch it. Go and smell it. Go and taste it. Do whatever you gotta do to make sure you see excellence. Don't you settle for anything less.
Good evening, everybody. I trust you're all well. Thank you for coming along. And thank you to those of you who have rejoined us again from last time round. Must be doing something right. Gideon, how are you, sir? So today is the introduction for the Complete Singers program, which is a 25-week program with a core message, which is excellent. It's about being the best, the very best that you can be, given all of the attributes that you've been blessed with and knowledge that I will offer you throughout this program. For the moment, if you don't mind, if you could keep your microphones mute, that would be great, thank you. So today I'm going to go through the program, giving you some insight into the different components of it that you'll work on, demonstrating some of the technique, giving you an insight into some of it, and give you an understanding of what will transpire, what will unfold over the next 25 weeks, what you'll be working on, and the things that you'll be learning. So I'm Uncle Ade, also known as the Voice Coach UK, and I have many years of experience. I'd like to say 25, that will make me sound really old. Over 25 years of experience in vocal training, artist development, performance coaching, and music management. And I have a number of strings to my bow. My experience and my areas of specialization extend beyond just being a vocal coach or a vocal coach. I've been a musicpreneur, which essentially I've always backed myself financially in the music industry and the music business. I've been a music promoter, promoting live music events and concerts. I'm a music business consultant. I've project directed concerts for other clients. I'm what's known as a kingmaker. I'm a university lecturer, lecturing for the last 20 plus years at Westminster University, University of West London, the Talyard Business Academy, and the Pop Academy in Mannheim, Germany. I also run my own academy, which is the All-Star Music and Business Academy, and am now the Senior Vice President for Groove Up, which is a music tech business that has been designed to change the way that the music industry or artists, independent artists, can interact with the music industry and give them the tools that they need to be able to compete with a typical major record company deal. Something that I'm very excited about, and something that will be launched over the next 3 to 6 months. So let me ask you, or let me tell you what I believe excellence requires. Let me tell you what I believe are character traits that I have. I have been, from the time I can remember and still am now, very hungry. I'm also humble enough to look to learn from everybody around me. Nobody doesn't have something to offer in terms of learning experience, and I learn from students and from peers. I'm one of those type of people. I'm very committed to making sure that what I aim to achieve, I give myself every opportunity to succeed at that by being committed, by being ready to learn, by being ready to aim for better every time, by evaluating what I did before, evaluating what I did wrong, which didn't work, which worked well, and making myself better next time. I am a perfectionist, although that can be somewhat detrimental. It still has a lot of, it's also very important. There's nothing wrong with being a perfectionist as long as you don't believe that you're perfect. There's no such thing as perfect, but there is such thing as a perfectionist, somebody who aims to be perfect. I believe that excellence is a mindset, and it requires, for most people, a mindset shift. I'm sure we all have our idea of what excellence should be, or what it takes for us to be excellent, and what we will commit to being excellent. But until you're asked to go that extra mile, until you're pushed that extra bit, you won't know whether or not you've got the character to be excellent. So I want you to all be aware that part of what I will be doing here is pushing you to be better versions of yourself, to push you further towards excellence. There's no hiding place around here. But it also requires you to have purpose. And when I mean that, I mean that there has to be an end result or an end objective to what you're doing. Now, often, and I discourage this, often singers just are taking training because they want to improve their voice. Without an objective, without targets, it's very difficult to be constantly committed enough to improve your voice on a daily basis, where you put work in daily to make you better. So it requires some kind of target. So for example, that you are going to, in 6 months time, perform a lead song in terms of your praise and worship at church, or whether you're going to do lead performance on an open mic night, or whether you're going to record an EP in 6 months' time. Some kind of purpose that you can continue to work towards, that will be your the thing that will encourage you to continue to work throughout the program. So it's important to have that purpose. But also, as you will have heard several times in the little presentation that you just saw, it's important that you're able to recognize excellence. That when you see it, you identify with it. But also that when you see it, you set your benchmark at excellence. Because otherwise, you're setting yourself up to be just average, just mediocre, just be run of the mill. Excellence requires you to see it in other people. Aretha Franklin was excellent. Stevie Wonder was excellent. Michael Jackson was excellent. Luther Vandross was excellent. These people were excellent. Muhammad Ali was excellent. You can tell with a boxer what excellence is, because you have to be better than everybody else in the world at a particular time. That means that you've beaten everybody else in the world. That's excellent. So as a singer, it's not so easy to identify that, because you're competing against yourself. But if you're benchmarking and recognizing excellence in somebody else, it becomes easier for you to set your goals according to what you hear and see. So I want to dispel the idea that anybody can sing. Anybody can learn to sing and improve within their own limitations. But if you want to be excellent, you have to be uncompromising in how hard you will work and what standard is acceptable to you. So you have to set your benchmark according to what is considered to be excellent now. So it's important for us to think and react in those ways. So ask yourself, what is excellent? What does excellent mean to you? What does it mean to you today, right now? And then let's look at what it will mean later on. So obviously, as I've pointed out, excellence is best identified when you yourself connect with or identify in somebody else and set yourself a benchmark saying, that's what I want to sound like when I sing, or that's how I want to impact upon people when I sing. That's how I want to touch people when I sing. That's how I want people to feel about me when I sing. And you can only do that when you see it in somebody else and you go, wow, that's what you're looking for. So you've heard some insight into what it requires, what sacrifice it needs, what benchmarks you have to set. And you've heard me say that I will drive you towards and make you work hard to be excellent. So you now should be asking yourself, do you need to be excellent? Do you need to be excellent? If you don't think you need to be excellent to do what I described, which is make people feel make people feel and admire when you sing, or make people stop and make people feel emotionally what you are doing. If you want people to just marvel at your gift and your talent, then you can't do that if you can't answer yes to the question, do you need to be excellent? there's no doubt you need to be excellent if you want to be the best. If I was to say to you that I'm going to put you in metaphorically put you in a boxing ring with, let's say, for example, Aretha Franklin, or in a boxing ring with Whitney Houston, or in a boxing ring with Luther Vandross, and have you go up against each other note for note and line for line on a song in the same way that they do on The Voice and competitions like that. If I was to ask you to do that, you will understand that in order for you to match that person, you must be excellent. So what is excellence? For those of you who are praise and worship, gospel singers, sing in church, it's important for us to also understand that in the Bible, it talks about excellence. It says, so rejoice in, this is Psalm 32, 11, 16. So rejoice in the Lord and be glad, all you who obey him. Shout for joy, all those whose hearts are pure. Let the godly sing for the joy to the Lord. It is fitting for the pure to praise him. Praise the Lord with melodies on the lyre. Make music for him on the 10-string harp. Sing a new song of praise to him. Play skillfully on the harp and sing with joy. Now, the most important part here is to play skillfully. That means every instrument. What we make the mistake of, and I had this debate 2 weeks ago with some very close friends. When it comes to instruments, singers seem to think that excludes them. Okay, instrumentalists are not singers, but actually you are. Singers, or the voice, is the most intricate and complex instrument of all. It is the one that requires the most skillful use and understanding in order to be excellent. So it's very easy to sing a note off key, very, very easy. And in fact, it's very difficult to sing a whole song without making a mistake of some sort or another, without singing a note off key, without singing and cutting a note off short, or whatever it might be. It's very difficult. So it's really important to understand, therefore, that in order to really bless God, bless the Lord with your beautiful voice, then you have to play your instrument skillfully. And if you can play skillfully, you can truly sing with joy. Now, when it comes to the debate that I was having with some colleagues the other day, one of the things that they were adamant was that you should be able to sing in a choir if you're not excellent. I don't disagree with that. But if you aspire to leading worship, then you should be aspiring to excellence before you lead worship. Until you're ready to lead worship, you shouldn't sing lead. And the reason why I say that is because let's look at it like this. If a keyboard player, a pianist or a keyboard player, was the musical director of a band, of the worship team, and he played off-key notes all the way through a song, would that be acceptable? Absolutely not. If the drummer played and they kept playing off time and clashing with the bass, would that be acceptable? Absolutely not. So if all the other instrumentalists have to be excellent, then surely the person who's leading worship must be the most excellent of all. And that's kind of where my mindset is. So do you need to be excellent? If you're still questioning, maybe you're not in the right place today. So then the next question to ask yourself is, what is it that you actually need to be excellent? What do you need to be excellent? And I would like you to take a moment to think for yourself about where you are right now as a singer, where you are in terms of the way in which you practice your craft, how often you practice, how many days a week you do, how long for, what types of things you practice technically, and ask yourself this: what I need to be excellent. Write down a list of things you feel you need to be excellent. I'll give you a moment to do that. So I've got some familiar faces in here tonight. Good evening, Blessing. Didn't expect to see you. Eukarya, good evening. Gideon, of course. And okay, Mute, I did expect to see you. Good to see you all this.
Good evening, Coach.
Good evening. It's like you guys can't, you missed so much that you thought you'd come back again.
Nice to be here.
Good to see you all again.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So hopefully by now you will have made your short list of things that you feel you need to be excellent. So let's move on from there. And I hope that on your list were all of these things that you heard me talk about before. If you're prepared to add these things to your list, if you're prepared to embrace these ideologies, then you're in the right place. Because it's that kind of work ethic and mindset that I need from you in order for you to get the very best out of what I have to offer. I want to repeat that again. I want to repeat this again. These are the types of things that I need you to be prepared to sacrifice to or to commit to in order for me to give you the best that I have to offer and for you to get the best out of this particular program. These things are essential requirements for you. Other things include an enhanced knowledge of your gift. Throughout this program, the different stages and the different weeks that we'll go through, you will acquire an enhanced knowledge of your gift and an enhanced knowledge of how your voice works, the mechanics of the voice, the different attributes of the voice and the anatomy of the voice. But you'll learn those things not just from a practical point of view, but also from a theoretical point of view. And the theoretical part of it is a very important part of it, because without understanding the theory, it's very difficult to be consistent with the practical. So we'll work on both the theory and the practical to make sure that you have an enhanced knowledge of your gift, that you will increase your singing IQ. So my mission statement, not just for this program, but for gospel singers and music practitioners and music business practitioners in my home in Nigeria, is to develop a culture of excellence, particularly in the church, so that we can achieve what God's gifted us for, to go out and to multiply. And we can only do that to the best of our ability if we practice excellence. Because we're living in a world where our expectations, the aesthetics of the world are all set at a certain level. And if we don't aim for excellence, if we don't aim to be good at what we do, we won't grab people's attention. Now, that just doesn't mean in the way that we sing, but I'll say this to you. Most people, especially when they go to church on a Sunday, will put on their Sunday best, making sure that they look great. Makeup, hair, clothes, shoes, everything. Present themselves to the best of their ability. Why would you present yourself to the best of your ability visually, but not present yourself to the best of your ability with the gift that God gave you? It makes no sense. I'm just going to throw that out there for you to think about. So again, today, from this day forward, those of you who are committed will take responsibility for your future. There's no excuse from this point on, because you found a place where the culture is excellent. That didn't happen by accident. That didn't happen by accident. More importantly, I will tell you this, that when I run a campaign, I have responses from over 500 people just for this campaign. There are only 12 of you here. There's a reason why you're the only 12 already. You understand? There are more that are supposed to come, but they're not here yet, but they've enrolled. But my point being, there's a reason why you came here, why you recognize this is the place where you wanted to train your voice. So you're in the right place. Now it's up to you now to take responsibility for your future, to make the decision from today to follow the program to the best of your ability in order to get everything that is out. So let's look at some of the things that we will be looking at or working on over the course of this 25 weeks. Now, 25 weeks sounds like a long time, and trust me, it's going to go very quickly. And trust me, there are things that are going to go over your head. But what I tend to do, or what I do by default, is to try to ensure that everything that you get taught, you have as much opportunity as possible to ingest it and to work on it and to develop your understanding of it. And as part of that, what I do each week, and I've done this today, is record the session, then upload it to YouTube so that you can watch back to make sure you got everything, you didn't miss anything. And if you did miss it, you watch it again and you get the opportunity to process everything that you missed before. So we're going to look at your vocal anatomy, which means all the different components of your voice, how they work, how your voice works, how it typically works for speech, and how the voice, your speaking voice and your singing voice are typically two separate entities as far as the way in which we use them, but how we're going to bring them closer together so that your speaking voice becomes more aligned with your singing voice. So that when you when you speak with the kind of sensibilities and the technical attributes that are akin to singing, making you more flexible as a singer. We're going to look at texture and blending, precision and accuracy, listening and blending, because listening is very important. Your ear, developing your ear is probably the first thing that you need to concern yourself with. Because if you can't hear it, you can't do it. And I would say next to that is, if you can't identify it, you also can't do it. So being able to identify it and being able to hear it are very crucial for you being able to execute and master. Then we'll look at dynamics and power, velocity and phrasing, leading worship, scoring songs, and your spiritual purpose. So let's look at the scheme of work. Let's look at our weekly or bi-weekly program to give you an insight into what we'll be working on over the course of this 25 weeks. First phase of it will be the keys to vocal freedom. How you're able to open your voice, control your voice, and sing with a relaxed, open voice. And in order to do that, we'll look at the anatomy of the voice and how the voice works, because again, understanding how the voice works will be the first step in understanding how to use your voice properly. I alluded to it a little while ago, was about the difference between our speaking voice and our singing voice. Now, for you guys, most of you, it will be a very important transition to make, because you'll have different dialects from different parts of Nigeria, and generally your dialect will be very different from the typical singing dialect. Now, that's even the same for me as an English-speaking singer, that a lot of the pronunciations that are consistent with soul and gospel are American pronunciations. A lot of the ways in which you manipulate your vowels are American pronunciations. So we'll start to train our voices, even if you speak in English as I do, to not speak in English, but to speak in Singlish, and be able to speak with and manipulate the voice to do the things that you want to do. And so it's important to understand that, just as a reference point, if I sing, tell me it isn't so, say you have your reasons for leaving, you have to go. Now, when I sing that, I don't sing the same way that I speak. When I mean that, I mean I use different pronunciations when I sing, because my English pronunciations would give a different sound altogether. For example, tell me it isn't so. You said you had your reasons for leaving, you have to go. So you have completely different pronunciations. You say you have your reasons for leaving, you have to go. So just the pronunciations, just the way in which we formulate and conclude our vowels for singing are completely different for speaking. You say you have your reasons for leaving, you have to go. You say you have your reasons for leaving, you have to go, to go, to go. So you're manipulating already, and that's all as a result of understanding the basic anatomy of the voice, understanding the difference between your head voice, your chest voice, your mid register, your larynx and your pharynx, and all of those things, and understanding how you manipulate vowels to ensure that you're placing the sound in the right part of your vocal anatomy. So your vocal anatomy is a very important component of how you use your voice. So as part of that, we'll look at your breathing mechanism, your diaphragm and your lungs, your vocal folds, as I said, your pharynx, your larynx, your chest register, your top register, and your mid register, and your mask. So the different places that you're able to place your sound. So I can place mine, tell me it isn't so. You say you have your reasons for leaving, you have to go. So I can use different placements to give me different sounds altogether. So it's important to understand all of the different places that you're able to use to manipulate and change the foundation and the character of your sound. Those things are all first controlled and understood through understanding how your vocal anatomy works. Part of that starts with your support system. It's like, you know, when you fast, one day is pretty much doable. 1 week becomes very difficult. 1 month means real discipline. But even after 1 day without having any food or drink, even if it's just water or no water, you'll start to see your energy drain. And also psychologically, you'll find that things that you would ordinarily want to do, you just can't do. So fasting is a way of essentially denying yourself of your natural energy. But interestingly enough, the most important part of the energy for you is your breathing. Now, breathing is like, just to do the basic things you need to have, you essentially need to breathe. But when you don't breathe properly for singing, it's almost like fasting or not eating, and then expecting to be able to do the same things with no food, to be able to do the same, have the same energy, to do the same things physically, to be able to have do the same exercise, all that kind of stuff. But whilst fasting is also much more difficult. So we have to understand that for singing, you're operating at an enhanced, a superior level, therefore requires a superior control over your breathing. Now, I want to throw in here that I'm actually asthmatic, which means I have real difficulty breathing. I have lung problems and often don't have enough air. And today I'm very wheezy. But I still have to have sufficient air to breathe, which means one of two things. Either I'm using my inhaler to ensure that my breathing is all right, or I'm adjusting my breathing or my vocal performance to account for the fact that I'm somewhat short of breath. But either way, I still have to be able to deliver vocally with the air that I have and ensure that I have sufficient air at all times. So even for somebody like me, breathing becomes more important. Therefore, I'm much more aware of how important breath is, and also maybe in the same breath, maybe a little bit more strict on making sure people get their breathing right. So if we get past the breathing support and all that kind of stuff, we'll start to look at vocal layers and how they impact upon the way that the voice sounds. And because, again, we don't just sing on one vocal level. If we do, eventually people will become predictable, people will become tired, their attention span will diminish, and so on and so forth. So it's important for us to be able to throw in different layers. And we'll look at textures and shades, and the things that we'll look at are resonance, back vocals, projection, and dynamics. So again, let's use the same song study as well. Tell me it isn't so. You say you have your reasons for leaving. You have to go. Now that is melodically correct and accurate in terms of pitch, but there are no changes, there are no lights and shades, no dynamics and stuff. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that I add resonance, which means that it becomes open and clean and sweeter. It means that you hit the sweet spot vocally. Tell me it isn't so. Then afterwards, I want to add another layer, back vocals. So I'm going from tell Tell me it isn't so. You say I have your reason for leaving. You have to go. So I'm now adding what we call a whisper or back vocals to the vocals so that it has another layer of emotion and allows you more expression. So then you'll also add to that dynamic. So you can sing, tell me it isn't so. You say you have your reasons, but that's forward and back extremes. But you want movement. So you want to make sure that you have transition between forward and back. Tell me it isn't so. Say you have your reasons for leaving. You have to go. So you're transitioning and you're giving yourself dynamic variation to ensure that there is an emotional continuity in the vocal performance. So that's what the kinds of things we'll get into when it comes to textures and shades. So then let's ask a question. Now we're talking about our approach to singing and the way in which we think about singing. And my question is what is your musical purpose? Is it to sing loud so that people hear you, or to sing with force so that people feel you? Now there's a big difference between singing loud and singing with force. Excuse me. Singing loud is just, tell me it isn't so. You say you have your reasons for leaving. You have to go. That's just singing loud. Very bland, very blunt, very forced. Whereas if I sing with emotion, I start to sing with force and feeling and not loud. So tell me it is so. You say you have your reasons for leaving. You have to go. Actually has a greater impact on the emotion and the psyche than if I just sing, tell me it isn't so. You say you have, that doesn't have the same kind of emotional impact. So it's about singing with force so that people feel you rather than sing loud so that they hear you. And again, that's a very important part of the way in which we approach our vocal training and vocal development. And we talk about precision and accuracy and getting into the point or going to the phase where we develop an attention to detail using our vowel passage development, basic tone changes, and improving our range. So it's really important to sing with precision and accuracy. So I can sing, tell me it isn't so. You say you have your reasons, and that's fine, but it isn't singing with real precision. In order to sing with real precision, I have to adapt and modify the vowels for certain things. So tell, so I'm adapting the way I sing, tell, I'm opening it up and changing the shape of the vowel. Tell, because I need to lift to the actual point where the note is perfect, pitch perfect. Tell me it is, tell me it is. That's the natural way to sing. But that's not what I want. I want to be able to lift the note to where it's supposed to be and not land. Tell me it is so. So being able to manipulate your notes so that you place your sound at the lift point and avoid landing is really important. When you avoid landing, you're more likely to be more precise. And when you lift your voice up, you're more likely to stay in pitch and on note with accuracy. And that's, again, really, really important. So when it comes to adding colors and tones, we start to think about vowel modification and vowel manipulation. We've done a little bit already. We're going to go a little bit further here, because I can sing, tell me it isn't so. You say you have your reasons. Or I can sing, tell me it isn't so. You say you have your reasons. So I can change the sound by manipulating the vowels. The same note, same pitch. And I can now also transition between the two. Tell me it isn't so. You say you have your reasons for leaving. You have to go. So I can change color just by changing from tell to tell. Just changing manipulation of the vowel and way I shape and pronounce the vowels. And we'll be working on those as well. Also, phrasing and syncopation is also very important to that, which means that when you sing, you need to make sure you have a constant flow and that is in tempo with the song. So I can sing, tell me it isn't so. You say you have your reasons for leaving. You have to go. So I can hear the breaks. Whereas if I sing, tell me it isn't so. Say you have your reasons. So I'm moving constantly the whole time. Sound constantly vibrates. Your voice constantly vibrates. The vocal folds constantly vibrate when they produce sound. So it's important to understand that, and so that you then make sure that you increase or project that constant variation when you sing. In the same way that all the other instrumentalists in the band, the keyboard player, the drummer, the guitarist, all use different velocities when they're playing. In fact, in order to control the way that they play, a drummer, when you think about, they have the hi-hat, the snare, the kick and all that kind of stuff, because their bodies are doing different things, it's impossible for them to hit it at the same weight and velocity every time. So we have to understand that as well, and understand how important it is to move and connect with the rhythmic patterns of the song. And in order to do that, we need to make sure that we sing with a different kind of flow and tempo. So there's a thing about singing in tempo, in time. There's another thing about singing with phrasing or singing in phrase. And there's another thing about singing with syncopation. Syncopating the breathing with the velocity variation, with the tempo, with the phrasing, with the lyrical variation, with the vowel modification, all those things come together to make sure that you're singing the kind of phrasing and syncopation that actually allows your voice to connect in a musical way that is very different from the way in which we speak. Everybody's most favorite part of singing, and everybody's most important part of singing, especially for gospel singers, riffs, runs, and ad-libs. Everybody says they want to be taught how to riff or how to do runs. And I have a very specific theory about that. But first of all, I also have, I'm also aware that a lot of people don't understand the difference between riff runs and ad-libs. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to answer the question now, except for Gideon, Okumute, and Blessing, who's gone. Could anybody tell me what they believe the differences between riffs, runs, and ad-libs? Anyone? If you can just unmute your mic and let me know what you think it is. Don't be shy. Anyone? Don't be shy now. You mean to tell me that all these people here who are singers but can't tell me the difference between riffs, runs, and ad-libs? Anyone? Should I call someone? Antoine, would you like to tell me? Antoine, can you hear me? You have to unmute your microphone. I can see you're not even talking, so maybe you can't hear me. Gideon, can you hear me? Gideon. Am I speaking to myself? Does this mean nobody can hear me?
Good evening, Coach. Can I try?
Uju. Yes.
Yes.
You can hear me. Wonderful.
I'm just gonna hazard a guess. Okay. So I think a run is basically a spontaneous melody, a spontaneous delivery or run of notes on a song.
Good.
And a riff is melody, is melodic, it's more melodic than a run. I'm just hazarding a guess. I particularly am not a riff and run person. Okay, so and then an athlete is let me say a space within a song that gives the singer freedom to play with the notes and the tempo of a song to vary it the time.
Okay.
To embellish.
Good. So that was 2 out of 3. Well done. And that's a rarity. Most people can't even give me that, but yes. So first was right about the runs. That's like a series of notes. Actually, but it's also actually in this context an extension of what would normally be there. So if a word has 2 or 3 syllables, typically when you go on a run, you will do 5, 7, 8, 10 syllables instead. So you'll add syllables to a word. So you go on a run with different variations in notes on that one word or whatever. But riff actually is something that is a musical term, which means a repeat of a phrase. Like you've got on, let's say for example, Chaka Khan, dun 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 dun. That's a riff. That would be considered to be a riff. So the same thing can be said in singing, the same kind of thing. You sing in a riff, but it's a repeated phrase. You sing a riff. So those are the 3 different types, and it's important to know that because what we tend to do is use them all to mean run. So we sometimes say we want to do a riff, but actually we're talking about doing a run. And sometimes we say we're going to do an ad-lib, but again, we're doing a run. And it's important that we understand the difference between the 3, first of all. So well done for that one. But then we overemphasize the value or the importance of singing riffs and runs. And so I asked this question. This is a question that I ask of singers when it comes to doing riffs and runs. And is this: are you singing in the spirit or are you singing in the flesh? And it's an important one because often runs are just a way in which we showcase or show off our vocal skills. The vocal skills or the showboating shouldn't be done at the sacrifice of the meaning and the intention of the song. The meaning of the intention of the song is much more important. So it's important for us to understand when and where we're supposed to do these overextended riffs. So that's a really important consideration to make. And as a result of that, we should focus more on the words and the story than on our own vocal acrobatics. Then it comes to dynamics, velocity, and power. And we've spoken about that a little bit already, but actually it becomes a really important component of both the riff runs and ad-libs, but also of expression and separation. So we spoke about it when we talked about the movement a little while ago, but the dynamics is really important. So going through different phases of dynamic are really important. Oh, why don't you believe me? Someone really must have hurt you bad. So I'm going, oh, why don't you believe me? So it's dancing. Someone really must have hurt you bad. No, I would never leave you. Here we go. 'Cause you're the best thing I ever had, my love. So I'm going through all the different phases and I'm using different velocities and dynamics to ensure that there is a continuity and a natural progression up to those top notes, as opposed to, 'cause you're the best thing I ever had, my love. Because that's a different thing altogether. That means I've lost control and the voice has run away from me. And that might mean that sometimes I get it and other times I don't. So using or controlling your dynamic, your velocity, and injecting power only when it's needed are really important aspects of your singing discipline. So the question again, is your musical purpose to sing loud so that people hear you, or to sing with force so that people feel you? And hopefully you'll understand and the difference between the two and the value of the two. Then we'll come to song lyrics and song analysis, this is about interpreting a song, interpreting the song's lyrics so that you can enhance your performance and give you a roadmap to capturing the essence of a song. So let's just for a moment, just go back to the first song that I sang. Tell me it isn't so. You said you had your reasons for leaving. You had to go. So even in that, even in those 4 lines, it already gives you an insight into what the song or that passage of the song is about. Knowing what the passage of the song is about is really important because it then gives you the opportunity to interpret the words and build a scenario or a story that you can then narrate as the singer. Because singing is about narration. The lyrics need to be narrated so that everybody who listens to them connects with the story and the emotion and believes you when you interpret that story. So I can just sing, tell Tell me it isn't so. You say you have your reasons for leaving. You have to go. Now, you know the lyrics because I've sung them several times. But if you think about the lyrics, tell me it isn't so. That's saying, I want to hear you tell me that what I've been told or what I believe to be the truth is not the truth. So I want you to reassure me that this is all in my mind. Tell me it isn't so. Tell me I'm imagining it. Then it says, you said you have your reasons for leaving. So you're actually saying, tell me what I've just heard isn't correct. Tell me you're not leaving. You said you had your reasons for leaving, you have to go. So even though you're telling me you have your reasons, tell me that you also have a reason. At the end of that, I want to hear you tell me a reason why you're going to say. Tell me, because I'm in denial. So I have to express that in the way in which I sing. Tell me it is so. You said you had your reasons for leaving. You have to go. So it's a yearning. It's a plea for somebody who, even though they've told you that they're going, or that they're going, that it's a plea from you to say, please tell me that it's not true. Please tell me, even though you have a reason, tell me that you're not going. Tell me that what I'm hearing doesn't bring about my biggest fear. Tell me that there's another ending to this scenario. So just in that particular phrase, you get an understanding of what the song is about. So therefore you have to then embody the character. Imagine what the scenario is. Imagine the relationship between the two people, because it's one person who is the one who is going to leave, and the other person who is going to be the one who's going to be left. And the fear of the person that is going to be left, and how insecure that makes them, and the guilt of the person that is saying, I'm going to leave, and the compassion that they have to show, because obviously this is somebody that they love, but they don't love them enough to stay, but they love them enough not to want to hurt them. So all of that will be expressed in that phrase. So understanding how to interpret is a really important component of how you take your singing, your performance, and your ministry to the next level. Then the next part, the next part and the final part is the importance of scoring your songs. Everything I've spoken about before doesn't come about by magic. Everything that I've spoken about before comes about by studying intricately every single syllable of your song, every texture, every vowel shape, every manipulation, every dynamic, the patterns, the rhythm, and the movement. It comes with studying every single part of it, and you can't know every part of it unless you score it out. Because if I sing it now, guarantee that I can sing it 20 different ways. I can sing it 1,000 different ways. But if I want to produce the same emotional impact, or a specific emotional impact, I need to score it out to ensure that the foundation and the framework, the model, is accurate to the intention of the emotion. Therefore, I have to score it out. So scoring your song is another really important component of what we will go through, giving you consistency and ensuring that every element, every technical component of your singing will be at the point or will aim for excellence, so that your end result will be a series of things put together to create an excellent picture, like a work of art. And that is the scheme of work for this program, which will take you over 25 weeks. But let me say this to you. It may take you across 25 weeks, but your journey of discovery will happen after, even continue to happen, I should say, after the program is finished. When you go out to your rehearsals, to your recordings, all that kind of stuff, post the program, that's where you'll really get into your own, become your own identity, your own vocalist with confidence in your ability, confidence in your knowledge, and then competence in the way that you sing. And that's all I have to offer you today. So I'm opening the floor for any questions. You can unmute your mic now if you choose to. Let me stop sharing too. If you're trying to speak, I can't see you because your mic is muted. I can't hear you. Okay.
Hello, 1 second.
Uju, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
You know, your mic is very low, so I can't hear you well.
Okay, maybe because I'm using my earphones, I just might have to speak into my phone. Can you hear me now, sir?
I can hear you, but you keep fading out.
Okay. First, big thank you to you, Coach. Thank you so much. This is my first time of hearing about you. This is my first time of seeing you. And you know, I just kept listening to you while you were going on, and my eyes kept rolling up in my head, like, how on earth are we going to cover all of this in 25 weeks? And then I wish it was as easy, it would be as easy as coaches delivering it right now. but just hearing you talk about it, Uncle Ade, I know we're in for oopsie. You know, and once more, I want to say thank you very much, sir. And I totally see the value of what you're offering. And I know there are lots of people who do the same thing, but maybe not the way you do it.
Definitely not the way I do it.
And yeah, exactly. And when I saw the training, I was like, I don't know what will stop me from attending this training. Whether it's people from my village or my ancestors, I bind them, cast them out into the bottomless pit.
Amen. Amen.
Everything that has refused for me to be great, I bind and cast.
Amen.
You know, so and I'm here, and thank you so much for this introductory class. I think if there's anything you have done tonight is to whet my appetite some more.
Amen.
And also to show me that there's a lot of work to be done. There was something you said that really struck me. I've heard it before, but the way you said it, you said it like somebody who was ready to punch. You said excellence is not just what you do, it is who you are.
Amen.
And you know, back here at home, we have this general want things to be easy, wanting to do it easy, looking for the easy way out. But I do know that this is no easy way out. I know that there's a lot of work to be done. I know that there's a lot of sacrifice to be made on our part and on your part too.
Yes.
It's not easy to impart knowledge. You could as well sit down. I mean, your voice coach UK, you can sit there and just be the big man over there working with the A-listers, but you choose to share your knowledge with us. I really do appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to every bit of it. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Amen.
Good
Thank
evening,
you.
once more.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Hello. Good evening, Coach.
Dear Dion, what are you?
Good to hear. Good to hear your voice once again.
Why are you here? Are you not graduate? Are you not graduate? I know you're missing your lesson.
I'm always looking out for miracles. So this is one of the miracles of the year. So well, it's nice to hear from you.
And you, it's good to see you again. Good to see you. You're coming to the artist development program, Abby?
Yeah, yes. I'm interested. I will do the expected as we enter this week.
Okay,
so
cool.
That I really congratulate anybody that is here for the first time, anybody that is having this opportunity to hear from you. I can assure whoever that his life would never be the same, just like my life has never been the same. So I wish to go on and on and on and on. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, are there any questions? Because I haven't had a question yet. Are there any things that you don't understand? Did I miss anything? Anything you want more of an understanding in before we conclude?
Sorry, it's me again, Coach Ade. You're saying, are there any things you don't understand? There is many that I do not understand. So I don't even know where to start asking the question. You know, some of us stumbled into singing. We thought, okay, it's just this gifting that we have. We just have to sing. And I've never really put a formal learning to it. So I have this voice. I think I have this voice. At least I'm speaking with it right now. You know, I have this voice that I do not know is like a different person from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I really need to get to meet this voice, learn this voice, know this voice, you know. So that's basically why I'm here. Know how best to express this voice.
Yes.
You know, so even though I've been singing for quite a very long time. We started with children choir, so we have been singing since that time, you know. But I really want to be able to express the gift I've been given in the best way. God is an excellent God. And yes, we are the Association of Praise and Worship Leaders and church singers. So, but I believe that God is an excellent God, and by all means, whatever we do for him, we must do it excellently. We must represent who he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm here, Coach Ade. I don't want to be mediocre. I don't want to be average.
Amen.
I want to be the best of who God has made me to be. I want to be able to meet Jesus and give him, and he gives me a thumbs up, like, yeah, you did good. You know,
right?
Yes, that's my goal. I want to be able to bump his fist and like, Lord, we got them right.
Yes,
you know.
exactly.
So that's why I'm here. So there's a lot I do not know. I'm hearing terminologies that I've seen in so many places, and the truth is that normally when I go into a class and I hear all of this, it's a big turn off for me.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking, can you just tell me how to be better instead of teaching me all these terminologies?
Yeah.
I actually enrolled at a school one time, and they took me all the way back to bass clef and
right.
So I about, in fact, COVID was a perfect excuse for me to just dump the program and move on, because they were teaching me how to draw on a staff and all of that, and I'm like, what? I'm already singing already. Just tell me how to.
Yeah.
So there's a lot I do not know, and I really do not know where to start asking the questions from.
Yeah.
But I want to believe that as we engage, things will start jumping out.
Yes. So what I didn't say, and what I should have said, is that every technique that we work on over the weeks, you will get a computer printout, or actually will be a computer, like a file, which will give the technique a label. explain to you how to execute it, and then I will demonstrate for you as well. And then you will demonstrate back to me, we'll evaluate it, I will coach you on how to do it better, and then I'll give you song studies to practice that technique in. Yeah, so every technique you will understand the label on and everything else like that as we go along, step by step over the weeks.
Awesome, absolutely wonderful. I can't wait. Thank you very much, Coach. So let the journey begin.
Yeah, and the one other thing is that I record every session. So after the session, I upload it to YouTube. You'll be able to go watch it over and over and over again to pick up all the little things that you missed from it.
And thank you so much, Coach.
Okay, good. You're welcome. So,
Hello, Coach.
Gideon.
Coach, yes, I just wanted to encourage my sister that just finished talking to you now, because while she was talking, I just saw myself the first time I met you. And what I want to say is that I think most of those terminologies, those concepts, those words that you use, is actually the journey. As she continue to follow, she will get to know everything one step at a time, because you are systematic in your teachings. And everything is going to be coming clearer and clearer as she follows. And I can assure her she won't understand everything on the first journey, on the first day. So it's a journey. All those things will become clearer, those terminologies will become clearer, and then she will be more acquainted. In fact, I'm still unraveling some of those terms. And as I listen to you, as I play those tapes repeatedly, they keep making sense. And, you know, the voice is actually like an instrument. Her voice as an instrument, the way I understand it, it's when you learn to use that instrument, that period of learning is actually the journey that she's about to embark to with you, Sarah. You know, she will understand how skillful she can manipulate that her instrument that she has, and that's the way I'm getting into it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks for that. I'm sure that she will appreciate that, and that will have as a good point you made there, Gideon, that it comes, your understanding will come every single week. You'll open up to a new level of understanding and new insight. It's not possible for you to take it on board at the beginning and know everything and learn everything. It was that easy. Gee, I would be very, very, very rich, but there it is. Any other questions at all? If not, we will conclude for now, and we will resume not next week, the week after, and then we'll be on a straight run except for the Christmas break. And in between time, I will set you all up. You'll have your own folder on Google Drive with your own documentation in it, your own session recording sheet, and the first few weeks we'll fill it out together, and then you'll be responsible for filling it out each week. And then the other thing you should know is that by the next time you come here, I will need to have heard you sing. So you will send, if you have a recording, any recording you have, you will upload it to the website. I'm going to send you a link for, you'll upload it. I will do an evaluation for you, your initial valuation. And in the next session we do, you'll all perform one song or two songs live, and I'll complete your evaluation. Then I'll know where we are, where we're starting, and how we'll be working individually for each one. I think it's worth pointing out as well, although you're in a group, I do treat you as individuals and I coach everybody individually. But the great thing about this is that when you're listening to 10 other people being coached, you're learning things for yourself that may not occur in your own coaching sessions. So you're getting the benefit of all that as well. Okay, so if there are no other questions, I will say thank you very much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you and hearing from you soon. So please look out for your for the notes from me with the links to where you should upload your work. And also, I will also add you all to one group so that you can communicate with each other. By the way, I will also add you to the singers group where you'll see Gideon and all my other old clients as well. So you'll be in that group as well, and you can communicate in there. And in fact, I'm sure when you're in there, you'll be getting feedback from the likes of Gideon and Jax and all those other people that were in that group, okay? So thank you very much, guys, and I will catch up with you over the next week. God bless you. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Take care. God bless.